There is an open rebellion against RINOs as the GOP support for Liz Cheney and Lisa Murkowski implodes. In this video, we're going to take a look at how the queen of the neocons, Liz Cheney, is not only about to get ousted from her leadership position, but is getting crushed in the GOP primaries, how Lisa Murkowski's primary challengers opened up a double-digit lead, and we'll even revisit the merciless booing that greeted Mitt Romney at the Utah Republican Convention. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. We are your antidote to fake news, as each and every day we analyze current events, analyze some awesome larger conservative trends in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive into here, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's our good friends over at Virtual Shield. Gang, if you're not using a VPN or virtual private network on your desktop, tablet, or mobile device while browsing the internet, then, you know, you're really exposing yourself to a lot of potential danger. But protecting yourself online, frankly, has never been easier. And to make it even better, Virtual Shield is offering our audience 50% off. You heard that right, 50% off all VPN plans and all premium add-ons. So don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on that link in the description below and sign up for a free 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. There is really nothing short of a rebellion, an out-and-out rebellion brewing in the ranks of the GOP against the neocon RINO establishment. The patriots who make up the grassroots and activism and energy of the party have absolutely had it with these RINOs, these Republicans in name only, or as I prefer, the Diablos, the Democrats at all but label, who are constantly disparaging, denigrating, deprecating the very MAGA-based America First Patriot movement that has revitalized the Republican Party like never before. And to see this rebellion in action, we need look no further than the queen of neocons herself, the one and only, the never failing to disappoint RINO from Wyoming, Liz Cheney. The Epoch Times is reporting that Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is indeed considering ousting Cheney from her leadership post. Cheney, if you don't know, is the third highest ranking Republican leader in the House. She chairs the House GOP conference, but that chair is being constantly compromised in her never-ending war with President Trump and those Republicans who support him. Her latest gaffe came when she spoke to the New York Post, not only saying that she was considering a ridiculous run for the presidency in 2024, which is itself a delusional joke, but she went on to say this about her Republican colleagues, quote, "I think we have a huge number of interesting candidates, but I think that we're going to be in a good position to be able to take the White House. I do think that some of our candidates who led the charge, particularly the senators who led the unconstitutional charge not to certify the election, you know, in my view, that's disqualifying." So now people like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and Rand Paul and Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz, they're all now officially disqualified from seeking the Republican presidential nomination in the crazy world of Liz Cheney. I do not know what planet this woman lives on. So it's these incessantly insane comments that she keeps making that are literally unidentifiable from the absurd nonsense that's spewed out from the stuttering mouth of Nancy Pelosi. So that's why more and more Republicans are rebelling against Cheney and anyone who would stand up for her. Texas Representative Lance Gooden, and major pro-Trump patriot, tweeted out his prediction on Saturday that Liz Cheney is indeed on her way out of her leadership position. Quote, "Liz Cheney has promised she will campaign on impeaching Trump every day of the week. Good luck with that, Liz. Prediction, she'll be out of her GOP leadership role by month's end." Cheney, as I'm sure you all know, was one of the 10 Republican congresspersons to vote to impeach President Trump. She was subsequently censured by the Wyoming Republican Party in retaliation for her vote to impeach Trump. And despite all of that, Cheney still somehow managed to survive a push a couple of months back by her fellow Republicans to strip her of her leadership position as retaliation against her vote to impeach Trump. But it looks like another vote is on the table, which may be as soon as next week or so when the GOP gets back together for their next conference. President Trump wasted no time in firing back at the neocon Cheney. After she tweeted out that Trump was the big lie, not the election, Trump said in a release statement, quote, Heartwarming to read new polls on big shot warmonger Liz Cheney of the great state of Wyoming. She's so low that her only chance would be if vast numbers of people run against her, which hopefully won't happen. But that was tame compared to what Trump said a few days earlier. Take a look at this. Liz Cheney is polling so low in Wyoming and has so little support, even from the Wyoming Republican Party, that she's looking for a way out of her congressional race. She'll either be yet another lobbyist or maybe embarrass her family by running for president in order to save face. This warmongering fool wants to stay in the Middle East and Afghanistan for another 19 years, but doesn't consider the big picture, Russia and China. Wow. I mean, Trump never minces words, that's for sure. Now, the polling that he's referring to is a new McLaughlin poll that shows that Cheney gets absolutely pummeled by her primary challenger, the Republican Anthony Bouchard. Get this, Bouchard is leading Cheney 54% to Cheney's 21% in a hypothetical head-to-head matchup in the upcoming GOP primary. 54 to 21. Now, ironically, that's a step up for Cheney. A couple of months back, the polls showed that only 13% of voters in Wyoming would reelect her. Okay, so 13 to 21, that's pretty good. In addition, to pour salt on the 75% of Republican voters in Wyoming have a negative opinion of Cheney. And this is a state where Trump won by a margin of 70%. So not only does it look like she'll be stripped of her leadership position, which is looking increasingly inevitable, but it looks more and more guaranteed that really there's no way on earth she's going to make it past the next GOP primary. Liz Cheney, the queen of the neocons, is politically dead. Now, as I'm sure you're all well aware, it's not just happening to Liz Cheney. This rebellion against the neocon establishment is taking out all kinds of leaders. We did a video yesterday on Utah Senator Mitt Romney, the king of the neocon establishment, getting absolutely mercilessly booed by his constituents at a Utah Republican convention. I mean, it was utterly cringeworthy. The outgoing chairman of the Utah Republican Party actually had to get up and asked the audience to quiet down and show some respect so Romney could finish his speech. It was reported that Romney left the arena immediately after his speech. You definitely want to check out the video we did on it. You're going to love it. And it was beautiful because once again, Trump got his revenge on this lone Republican senator who voted to convict Trump twice. Trump released a statement yesterday saying, quote, "So nice to see Rhino Mitt Romney booed off the stage at the Utah Republican State Convention. They are among the earliest to have figured this guy out, a stone-cold loser." And now we're getting word that Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, who's a Rhino par excellence, who also voted to convict Trump the second time around, she looks like she's going down in their next GOP primary coming up months from now. Her primary challenger is Kelly Tshibaka. She's opened up a double-digit lead over Murkowski. In fact, the polling found that Murkowski isn't polling any better than the Democrat opponent. So in a three-way race between Murkowski, Tshibaka, and the Democrat, Murkowski gets trounced. Tshibaka clobbers her 34% to 19%. The Democrat gets 18%. Alaskans appear to have had it with the Rhino-likes of Murkowski and Romney and Cheney and on and on and on. There really is a massive rebellion going on against the Rhinos, and it couldn't have come soon enough. Now, before you go, you definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on French President Macron utterly panicking as a new shock poll reveals that 73% of French believe France is headed towards a violent civil war. Now, we're going to look at the astonishing findings of this poll, how a majority of French actually support a military coup against their globalist government, and how more and more pundits believe that the nationalist populist Marine Le Pen is poised to become the next president of France. You are not going to want to miss this video. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.